In other tales, the climax of the story is exciting, invigorating. In a tragedy, it is often sad. The thing they have been working towards, building to, finally reaching its peak. This is the moment, dear viewer, when you begin to believe that I have been lying to you. That every word I say is a false proclamation. And I do not speak for fate because we create our own. This is the moment, dear listener, that you swear you are in communication with the fates, and they would never betray you so. You may choose to believe in that hope, and so do they. But when you realize the truth, you will panic. And when you panic, you drown, just as the fates intended. Let's see how long it takes for you to sink, shall we? The circle of the decaying light. Rats flee a sinking ship. They weren't supposed to be here. No one has been here for quite some time. But it got tired of waiting, of living in silence. It had a taste of what it was like to share its pain. And since then, it hasn't been silent. It has been loud, and it has been angry. It's just that nobody else could hear. And if the only screams they can hear are the screams of themselves, then it will echo through the walls of these caves until it makes their ears bleed. But patience is a virtue. And they weren't supposed to be here, and it got tired of waiting. But if it has to wait, then it will wait. But this house is coming down, even if it takes forever. Even if it takes forever, this house is coming down. The black begins to fade. There is a film that comes across the scene. Slowly, color begins to come back into the visuals. There are people here in what appears to be a lighthouse. On the floor, breathing, it seems, although not altogether awake, conscious, aware. But as they rise, we watch them. A doctor begins to awake, and his head is rather silent for once. There is a humming in your head, and a bit of an ache in your bones. But there is no light or cage. It is just the bare walls of the lighthouse as you used to know it.
guess I would look around and see if I see anybody else with me who dragged me here.
You see some other people lying around in the space next to you. The one you recognize immediately is going to be a younger woman, our lovely little gardener of the greenhouse. She begins to awake and see you in return.
Don't move too quickly. Are you okay?
Oh. Quincy?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I was unconscious most recently. I was about to ask you who dragged me here, but I'm getting the feeling it wasn't you.
You beat me to it, I guess. I have no idea.
What is that noise?
I don't know. Are you? You?
I was about to answer that with one of my normal, rather sarcastic quips, but yes, I think I am me.
Okay.
I guess, are you?
I am right now.
Is that Charlie next to you there?
As you go over, you do see another figure on the ground, and it is Charlie, your engineer and mechanic of sorts, as he begins to awake as well.
Charles.
Doc.
What do you remember?
Gosh, where to begin?
That's a good question.
Like, seriously, how far do you want me to go? I'm trying. Oh.
Let's start with, well, did you two fall asleep here? I know I did not.
I look around at both of them and take a few steps back in as softly as I can and kind of just let them talk. And I listen.
I don't remember falling asleep here. We were by the light. And then me and Flo went out into the waters and we picked up some bluetail. We were coming back. And we had just got back. And then I don't know if that makes any sense or if that's clear. I don't know if you remember any of that.
Well, I don't think I've seen you since you went out for the bluetail.
You haven't?
Why do you seem surprised by that?
I've seen both of you a bit more recently than that. You both had some pretty choice words and actions that you, shared with me. So the last thing you remember is coming back from the bluetail?
That's correct, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't even see us until since before we got the bluetail?
While you were out getting the bluetail, it was just me and...
You begin to realize there is no Walter.
Me and Walter.
Where's Walter?
Walter!
There's no answer.
Walter, can you hear me? Walter, where are you?
Quincy? I'm in these caves. Have you seen this? I came looking for you, so I imagine.
Very black, maybe a little bit wet.
Bingo.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we've all visited where you are now. I
Okay,
don't know how I got
Are
out.
the rest of you down here too, or?
No, we're currently all back in the lighthouse.
Well, thanks for the invite.
We don't know how we got here, Walter.
Huh. Well, I don't know how I got here, really. How did you all get into these caves?
Well, mine started with a foolish decision and a blackout. I'm not sure the other stories,
Okay.
but I think the short answer is I don't think any of us know.
But you're all safe.
Relatively.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure. I haven't lost any time to my recollection. I've been down here attempting to commune a little bit. I hope that all of you stay safe in the lighthouse. If you need anything, I'm here.
Well, I would say for now, you focus on trying to find your way out, and we'll, I guess, proceed with the plan as we've discussed to this point. I don't know what else we could do.
You know that my heart has always been in preserving whatever is here. I still wish all of you well in your endeavor to escape, and if I can aid it in any way, I will.
All right, Walter, take care of yourself, and we'll be in touch.
We love you, Walter.
Keep it up, Magic
I
Man.
love you. Over.
Over. I do not get the best feeling about that conversation.
No, but none of this has been. And we need to turn a new leaf. So, we need to get to work.
Okay. Okay. Stay on focus. What's our next move?
Well, we should make sure we haven't lost our blue tail we just brought back, right? Flo, did you bring it in? It's still down and...
It's probably in the lab where I left it.
Okay.
In my lab?
Probably.
Oh, good.
Let's grab it and, let's get out of here. Just outside of this place. I don't think I can trust these walls right now, and I don't... I'm sorry, I think we should just get out of this lighthouse. Find somewhere else to further the plan, but if we're gonna keep talking, if we're gonna stay standing here together, I briskly walk away to the lab to get the blue tail.
I suppose to the lab.
You first.
Lab you go. You find Dr. Quincy's lab. Pristine as ever.
Because there's still a maintenance man in me, I'm gonna go under the sink and see if there's a leak.
There is not.
Okay, well that's fixed.
Fixed.
Well, it's not leaking or draining, so there's that. Granted, that's just a fix for the smaller problem, not the bigger one. There's probably going to be a lot of places that are not going to be bringing in water, so that's good. Do we see the blue tail?
You do.
Good. All right.
I pick it up, and I just kind of scamper to the the like exit port where we have our underwater suits.
Yeah.
And I just quickly, I'm like, we're leaving. I am leaving. If they follow me, that's fine. But I am briskly leaving. Probably just gonna stand outside. Like,
Love it.
yeah.
I'm going to grab my medical bag and a couple little just in case things and motion to the door, and I'll duck out behind you.
Real quick, Doc, because I imagine Flo has moved a little further away at this point.
What's on your mind, Charles?
Well, a lot, to say the least, but I'm fine with handling what's going on here. It's not perfect, but nothing's been perfect for a while. I'm worried about her.
I can understand that. The best I can say for the moment is I think finding out that her brother is out there has given her a bit of hope to hold on to, a reason to get out of here. And I, as always, will maintain my focus to see to the health and the safety of everybody. So, I think the biggest issue that we have right now is the more practical problem of finding our exit. And that, my young lad, is I do believe where you come in.
I'll have to work on it. Just keep an eye on her.
Of course.
I have a feeling she's not going to want to talk to me for a bit. Especially with if Finn's going to be in the picture, I imagine I'm not going to be as nicely presented, I guess, in her mind, so.
I don't think you've got anything to worry about.
I come back. We're going to the vast chasm. Meet me there. Meet me there. and I leave again.
By the way, Charles, I think we're heading to the vast chasm.
Okay. You know what? Copy that. Over and out.
We
Thanks,
head
Doc.
to the
I'll pat you on the back and go.
we head to the vast chasm.
Yeah.
All right. The journey to the vast chasm is peaceful. It is still within the ring of light from the lighthouse itself, so it's not sort of traveling past and into the colder, icier, darker depths.
I'm silent.
Okay.
I'm not talking.
I'm giving you distance,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems like you're sort of in a leading position right now, or at least you were as far as like leaving the lighthouse, so I am probably about like 10, 15 feet away and towards the side. I'm probably like running my hands through the water,
Mm-hmm.
just at the edges of the vast chasm, just because this
Okay.
is still a miraculous place.
Yeah, we'll say you guys are inside of it, out of the water.
I flip out my switchblade, which is my bleed detector, and I point it at both of you. Take off your suits. Now. Please. Please do that.
Can I ask why?
No, you can't. Please take it off. I'm not joking. Take it off.
Sure.
Okay.
And I start with you. And I just kind of put my blade like near you. I'm not gonna hurt you, Quincy, I swear. Look, and I cut my thumb open. I'm not gonna do
Whoa,
anything.
okay.
Just give me a second. I need to do this, please.
Just relax.
I'm not gonna cut you. I just need to see something.
Okay.
And I just wave the knife over him to see if it glows.
It does not.
Okay. Do the same to you. To see if it glows.
It does not.
But I also hover my hand over your arm. I don't touch. Do I feel any heat?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you? How are you doing this? Where's Charlie? Where's my Charlie? Charlie would have told me if he had anything like this. Last time you were burning this hot, you scalded me with bleed. So what are you and how did you get out here with me and Dr. Thomas?
Firstly, I am Charlie. I promise you that. This was an accident that happened gosh, 7 years back, before we met. I've always been like this.
I've been around Charlie for 5 years. We've had close proximity. He would have told me, my Charlie would have told me if he had anything like this.
No, he wouldn't have. Because I know you get scared easy. You know this too, Doc, right?
Yes.
And there's nothing that freaks people out more than knowing that I got something. The Circle of the Shattered Pillars. Do you know anything about it?
Finn would, but I don't.
And he probably knew. It's one of my old circles before I met you guys. Went to the steel because there was something keeping a factory afloat and they didn't understand why. I went to go check it out. I work in many metals, so I'm used to that environment. I see the smoke from South Soffit all the time. Me and my circle at the time went to go investigate and found a abandoned boiler off to the side. Lit up, like someone just recently put fuel in it. And I went to go check it out. I went to open it to see what it was like. And blindly did so without anyone telling me I shouldn't otherwise. It was just going to be another inspection like I do. And oh, there was something inside, but it wasn't fuel. Candela calls it a chemigast. And it made itself known. Let's call it that.
Did it hurt you?
Still does. But I don't like talking about being in pain or having high temperatures or any of that stuff. I want to get back to my life and the things that are more important to me.
Yeah, there were times in some of your physicals I wish you would discuss some of your pains a little bit more.
I know.
Well, that would explain some of the issues in your medical records and charts that I've had to work through without probably the information I should have had. But suffice it to say, I believe him.
I couldn't tell Doc because, not gonna lie, first time I met you, I thought you were gonna open me up if you found out. And I don't want that. Walter, of course, is all about his magic, and I like hearing about it, but I like finding out more about why this happens. And I couldn't tell you.
Because I'm a coward. Got it. So, we gotta get out of here. We had a plan, let's stick to it, right?
You think you're gonna be able to do that?
We'll see, I guess. I think the person who has faith in me is up top, so we'll go and ask him. And I start putting my suit back on to prepare to go wherever else we need to go.
I'll put my arm in the water once again, and a bunch of steam will rise up from the side.
Fascinating.
All right. You're still not opening me up.
We'll see about that. Do we have a destination, or are we just out here for the ambience?
We have the Sailor's Sorrowfold. It's a unexplainable patch of ocean that shipwrecks constantly. There's countless boats that allegedly are still operable. They just mysteriously sank.
I mean, it's something, so.
At least enough to meet us halfway.
And if they come out to get us, at least luck's gotta be on our side at some point.
Finn, can you hear me?
Flo? Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, do we have an ETA on that ship that's coming towards us? That submersive?
Kind of. I have a bit of an update.
Yeah, what's up?
Well, all right, hold on.
So dramatic.
There's a pause. Florence Gallagher, is that you?
Reporting for duty.
A simple yes would have sufficed.
Well, you got mine. Yes, Captain, I'm here.
Excellent. We found a few things about what is going on with you all. I tried to dig up as much Candela knowledge as I could, although I don't usually go digging around without permission, but I did what I can. Finn said you mentioned something about black caves. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're obsidian, they're kind of drippy, they're mysteriously popping in and out of reality. One of our friends is still stuck in there.
Interesting. So, from the knowledge that we have, the Obsidian Caves are an old Farron, or ancient Farron, if you will, location. They were filled with phenomena, magic. It's where a lot of alchemical practices used to happen. There were communications of sorts. We don't have a lot of information on the time period back then, but it was definitely during the era where humans and phenomena were in communication, so to speak.
You mean like friends?
Some.
Okay.
That's not the issue, though. The simplest way I can put this... Well, I guess I'll be blunt. The Obsidian Caves are not at the lighthouse.
Where are they, Captain?
Different part of the ocean.
How far are we talking?
Far.
Then how did we...
I don't know. I don't know how you're there, but you're not at the Vast Chasm Lighthouse. You are at the Obsidian Caves. It's not where we sent you. It's not where Candela went to look when that submersible came up. They went to look at the Vast Chasm Lighthouse and you weren't there, hence being proclaimed dead 5 years ago.
So the lighthouse itself is an entirely illusionary
I don't know.
facade? What?
I don't know what you see. I don't know what you're experiencing. I don't know what you've been doing for 5 years, Flo.
The stuff you told us to do. The stuff Angela told us to do. Angie.
Whoever it wasn't Angie. Now I'm doing my best to get some sort of ship. I have a few, but none that will go that far and that deep at the same time. Seeing if I can have some colleagues get something to get us down there to you. But if you're running on a time limit, I don't know.
Captain, this is Charlie Harris. Couple questions for you. The location of the Vast Chasm Lighthouse to these caves you're talking about, approximately how many leagues are we talking?
A lot.
Okay. Enough to still be seen on one map? Are we pulling up more, or what?
If I'm being entirely accurate with you, there is no X marks the spots for the obsidian caves. We don't have it on a map. It's an approximate location.
Understandably so. Okay. Is the RNC gate going to be a problem for you guys getting out this way?
Theoretically, it shouldn't. It would have been closer to the real Vast Chasm Lighthouse, and possibly an issue with how deep it goes down, but I guess you could get to us, or you could go up and hope that you can make it to the surface, depending on how deep you are.
Okay.
Can't you guys find where our signal is coming from? Ferris found us easy peasy without even trying.
My son does not use technology, so to speak, to send out communications. It's not quite that simple.
How are you talking to us then?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. He'd have to explain it to you himself. But it doesn't just give us your location.
Of course it doesn't. So are you coming or not?
We can try. But I wouldn't count on us.
It's something.
Yeah, I guess it is.
You know, Charles, one thing I've grown to know about you well is your penchant for things catching on fire. Do you perhaps think you could construct something that maybe can alert them to our location?
You want me to build a pyre?
I was thinking bomb, but sure. Visible, Charles. Visible.
Yeah. Doc, this is why... I'm glad, Doc, this is why we really grew up differently, because I don't know if you know anything about explosions like that. I really don't, and that's exciting. That's exciting. I mean, I'm not going to make you a bomb. Let me just be clear. I'm not. I could make something that does flare up and is really pretty. It's not going to explode, but it's just going to catch on fire.
The open air of the vast chasm. If we do smoke signals, maybe the smoke could reach the top.
My worry is that the smoke is going to evaporate and disperse into the air before it even gets above sight level.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you do know more about fire than I do, so.
Is that a dig at me?
No.
You little bully.
I am not a bully.
Oh my goodness.
I am not.
You
are the one making assumptions about me without telling me anything. So the more I learn about you is illuminating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Children, shall we focus.
I'm focused.
Yes, Dad.
So first to the Sailor's Sorrowful.
Yes.
We'll get our equipment there.
Mm-hmm.
Reconvene here at the lighthouse
Mm-hmm.
and proceed.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
We need to tell Walter. He's still in the caves. I mean, I guess apparently so are we, but
If
I don't-
he's in the caves, and so are we, why aren't we in the caves?
I loudly radio, Walter, it's Flo.
Flo?
Hey,
Hey!
have you made any movement in the caves?
Have I made any movement? I've made a great deal of movement. Not that it's gotten me very far. It's all kind of just the same as I guess all of you know. It's a whole lot of black and a whole lot of glass and a whole lot of damp. But there are some interesting things down here, so
What are you
I'm
finding?
keeping busy.
Are you finding anything that's, not glass or wet?
Even the things that aren't glass are still pretty wet, but yeah, there's some how to put this, freaky shit.
Magic, man. You can't be cursing on the radio like that.
But sorry, I know this is a family channel. I don't know that everything down here is from us. I don't know that the things down here are business as usual, as we've been led to believe the lighthouse has been this whole time. It doesn't seem very status quo down here.
What kind of stuff are you finding? Is it bad? Is it dangerous?
Well, I found some stuff that Quincy would love. There's a seeming little lab set up down here, and I did snag the vial of the mysterious liquid to give to you if you want to run some tests on it, Quint. And
Excellent.
there's some uncomfortably strong-looking manacles in one of the walls, and I did find a missive from I don't know who, but they were out of here in a hurry.
Any indication that they made it?
I don't have any guess one way or the other. It's just something saying they were leaving. I don't know whether they got out or not.
Okay. Well, Walter, we were talking to Finn and consequently Captain, the lightkeeper of my old lighthouse. It's a big maybe, but we learned that all of us are all in the Black Caves. There is no lighthouse that we've been to. They went to the real lighthouse and none of us were there. We've been in some kind of mirror dimension of the lighthouse, and you're in what appears to be the reality of the situation.
Huh. Well, I'm glad we're not all as far away as I thought we were. I'm not sure how to digest that, but I appreciate you keeping me in the loop, Flo.
Absolutely. The situation is they don't know where the Black Caves are. They know where our real lighthouse is, but they don't know where we are. So we're gonna try and find an objective secondary location that we can all meet up at so that they can pick us up. We'll keep an eye out for you and we'll let you know before we leave, okay? We won't leave you behind. I promise.
Fantastic. I guess I'll see you in the lighthouse, or you'll see me in the caves, or I'll see you.
We'll see you, buddy.
Over.
Over and out. Sailor Sorrowfold. I have a bunch of blue tail. We'll be able to make it there and back with enough light and oxygen. So let's get moving.
We get to the Sailor Sorrowfold. It is slightly outside of your light range, so to speak. So you are in the darker, more depth part of the sea itself. But since you're all with you, since you're all as a group, there's no can't communicate style of energy. You're within distance here. But you make it to the Sailor's Sorrowfold, and it is just coral and rocks and seaweed, creating almost this like forest on the ground, and it sparses in between ships of various ages. Some are ones that you would see currently in your own time period. They are broken with big holes in the sides and, rusted, and they're sort of being taken over very slightly by the plants and the creatures here. There are others that are decades or centuries or thousands of years old that have just still been here and haven't quite disintegrated. They're corroded. They're probably less usable to all of you, but the outsides are definitely worn, things of wood, things of metal, some of gold. It's a weird amalgamation of breaking ships or submersibles and sort of shoving them into the ground wherever they might go. Like you're a child breaking off Barbie heads and just putting them into the sand. And that is what you see.
What kind of stuff should we be gathering?
See what we're easily able to take out. If there's anything that looks like it's pretty well stuck together, let me know and I'll try to move it out. Let's just start with seeing what we can take physically. And then from there, we can work out some of the more complicated and stuck together stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's try to keep rather tight radius from each other while we can.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to move further away, let us know.
Okay.
So you would have come to a ship that is generally new. At least 5 years ago, when y'all would have last seen submersibles and ships, it was new. It's very simple. There's not a lot of high-tech or expensive things on the outer edges, or no like gold lining or anything like that. It's a very simple, like, you probably used to be white, sort of like we're talking like cruise style, gigantic big old ship with little circular windows that go along where people probably stayed in the cabins. Some of them are cracked and water is through and inside the ship. Some of them are pristine, some of them are fogged. The plant life around here has started to attach itself to certain areas, but other areas are relatively clear. There is a gigantic hole in the side of it towards the bottom where it is stationed in the seafloor that is large enough you could probably just swim right through. There's a bit of, it's not a clean hole, there's a bit of pieces that are sort of bent and torn in, kind of backwards, like you're peeling the skin off the ship. But if you would enter through there, you would enter into sort of like the kitchen-y area, and then you can go throughout the ship.
I start there.
Okay.
And I swim through that area.
What are you looking for?
Something that I think she would start with like the outside going in, so maybe just like something big, flat, and usable for the wall of like an escape pod.
Okay. Roll me survey.
That's a 5.
Wow.
Okay. There are quite a few things in here that, with enough force or time or knowledge, are sort of like metal sheets in the style where you could peel them off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Your easiest bet is probably going to be one of the like rooms or cabins that individuals would stay in, because they're probably the least well outfitted and the easiest to just sort of put something behind, like your switchblade, and start going at it to get a panel off.
Okay.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, it'll take you a little bit of time, but you can start getting that panel off the side.
Start peeling at stuff. Fiddling with whatever.
I'm guessing I would probably, just being who I am, make my way over to something that looks old and ornate, just out of curiosity. But then as I get there, admire it for a moment, then focus and try to look for something that looks like it's supposed to be underwater, or at least was supposed to be underwater in its useful life.
There is closer to your submersible, but it looks relatively old. Not like ancient, but decently older. But it definitely looks like its purpose was to go deeper depths, because there's no, like, it's not a big ship with cabins. It's not like, doesn't have a part where you could stand on the top like the ship that flows in. It's kind of just like a little circle, and it's got sort of a long window that goes all the way around, so it never stops. It just goes all the way around. And a few like little sails that probably move to turn direction. It's a little broken, but not like there's a big hole in it. More like the door fell off its hinges.
So I'm probably just going to look around to see if there's anything that's loose, that's carryable, and if, in absence of that, just try to get a good idea of how I would describe it to Charles if I don't see anything I can take.
Gotcha. Sort of look around, and you can find some, like, it's a very simple panel that is probably like part of how you would manipulate or run this sort of submersible, but it's not like buttons with electricity that do all these things. It's more like levers and pulleys. The actual wheel that you're assuming goes towards turning some of the outside bits is a little loose, if you'd like to take the wheel.
All right, now jiggle it a little bit and see if it'll pop off, and
Right off.
probably look at it like, well, okay. And I'm gonna hop on my comms. Charles, I don't know if you can find my location, but I don't know vehicles, but the one I'm in, I mean, you might want to come check it out.
Go ahead and make my way towards, I imagine, the cockpit of this area, if you will.
Yeah.
Seeing you've removed the wheel and just... Alright.
And I just awkwardly hand you the wheel like, look what I did.
Well, I don't know if there's like a seat behind it or not, but I'll just kind of like lay it and let it float like in the seat next to us. Could I do a focus roll to see if I can get an understanding of like how this ship used to, if not could, operate?
Sure, go right ahead.
That's going to be a 4.
So, it's a pretty basic in its foundation, right? The wheel was turn rudders back and forth, so you know what direction you're moving. Some of the levers are like turn on, big motion engine fan thing to make it move, turn off, big motion engine fan thing. You're starting to realize as you look at it that it kind of looks like a little fish bulb type of creature, because it's got little fins for the wheels on the outside, and then it's got a little tail in the back for the engine.
I'll start moving some of those levers to see if it actually moves these fins around at all.
The fins do move.
Okay.
I'm probably getting uncomfortably close looking over your shoulder as you're doing things.
So part of this is still operable. Of course, nothing could sustain inside without at least a need of oxygen, so we can still move this around. I don't know if I can bring this thing up. I mean, I'm going to guess that there's no power to a generator possible to turn it on, but I'm going to crank that lever on to see if it'll kick up.
So you start messing around with some levers, be like, there's no way there's an engine in this thing, like, we'll just fuck with it. And you push one up, and you hear like a...
There's no way. This thing actually has some power. Stay here for a moment, and I'm going to swim my way back and start looking for the source of whether it's a fan, whether it's an actual whatever power core is possible, whatever is able to fuel this thing to move forward and project. So I'm going to try to go that way and start looking for it.
Dope. You hear brung, 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 brung from outside of your ship.
I radio. Hey fellas, what was that?
Turns out this thing can possibly run.
Oh, that's great. I have a bunch of sheet metal. Would that help anything?
It definitely will, especially if this thing is not going to be able to go. But if it is, I'll repair it.
Okay, great.
Continue my way back.
I think right about now I am getting very curious about the panel. And I think I'm probably going to just touch something on it.
You want to touch something on it?
Yes.
You
Are
can't
you going to touch
stop
one of
it,
the
though.
things that he was fucking with, or just random?
Random.
Alright, roll a d6.
If there's something that's shiny, I'm probably touching it.
Yes.
Quincy!
It is a 6.
Yay!
Is that super good or super bad? Let's see.
Quincy dies immediately.
Yes.
No.
You start messing around with the panel because you realize that with the sound of what sounded like a motor or something, that, hey, maybe this works. Let's see what else works. And most of the buttons don't really do anything. They just kind of do whatever. The levers don't do much. But you pull one, and the same vroom, 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 vroom happens.
Charles, I did something. Any change on your end?
You heard the bring, bring, bring.
Did you pull the same lever I did, or is that a different one?
Which one did you pull again? I think it was a different one. I think it was a different one.
Oh boy. Did it originate from the same area, or was it different?
You wouldn't know. You were inside when the first one went off.
Alright, just...
Did it sound different to me?
It was the same to you.
Okay.
Keep a note on that. I'll be right there. Give me 2 minutes.
Gotcha. And is there any sort of like a algae growth on the panel at all? Is there a way that if I was to like mark it, it would be noticeable?
Sure.
So I'm going to go ahead and like just put a little finger mark right at whatever the thing was that I did something that made something do something.
Great.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way back and try to find if there's any sense of like a power source, or if there's any means of being able to keep these rotors going.
So there is a section towards the back that sort of looks like you can see that kind of like multiple fan outline, and it's tucked inside of like one of the panels.
Okay. And it doesn't. There's no direct way to like get into the fans. Like I can't stick my hand through an opening and get into the blades, right? Or is there?
You probably could. Yeah, I'll say it's big enough to fit your arm, not your whole self.
Okay.
There's probably 2, one on each side.
Do they look rusted? Like, do they look stuck in place?
No.
Hey, Doc. Press your button again.
Okay, pressing it.
Your marking's not there. Roll a d6.
3.
You don't know which one it is.
Damn.
So I marked the button just in case. But it appears to no longer be marked. Do you have any idea which one?
From the center of the console, you're going to go about 3 feet and 4 inches over towards the right. At the south part of it, there should be, there's like 4 buttons that are laying over there. And right underneath it is a lever. It should be not the second one, but the third one in a line, if you can pull that one.
Okay, wait. So I got 3 feet and 4 inches.
Yep.
And then...
You should see 4 buttons underneath it.
Okay, I see 4 buttons.
And then underneath that, there's a couple of levers. There's a couple of small ones and some really big ones. You want the small ones that are tucked underneath the cabin there. You don't want the second one. You want the third one.
I'm just going to flip a lever.
Oh. No!
I'm just going to sort of assume, like, sure.
Roll a d6.
And that was now a 3.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
Okay. You flip a lever. Nothing happens.
Did that work?
To the right of that one.
To the right of that one.
Bring.
Told him not the second.
Out of the left one.
Okay, so... Which would be the right side of the ship, then, right?
It's
I'm facing
your
forward.
left is the fan that just went.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so one of them is moving based off of that. On my left side here, there's a second one. Hey, Flo?
Mm-hmm.
Do you care to join the dock up at front?
Yeah, I'll be on my way.
Perfect.
I have like 4 pieces of sheet metal. I just like, I'm like fully like waddling, like just pure kicking as I like navigate my way to their ship.
Excellent. As you start towards that ship, roll me sense.
Okay. That's a 2.
What's your favorite flower?
Baby's breath.
You smell little baby's breath coming from the ship you just left.
I turn around. Just to peek around and see if anything would have caught, like, maybe like a draft or something. I kind of just like, it pauses me.
There is a singular bloom sitting in the doorframe.
Huh. Guys, there's baby's breath down here.
A what?
Baby's breath. It's a flower. It's like a little ornamental flower.
Thank
It's like
goodness. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it's a plant. It's a plant. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. Good job, Gatherer.
Well, it's not able to grow underwater is the thing. That is a sign of topside life.
Interesting. Okay. Still organic, and that's good. We could definitely use that. Yeah, take it out.
I'll grab it. And I grab it.
Great. It grabs you. So.
Sorry.
It's okay. that's plot. It's okay.
We could have lost fingers and machinery. We could have barreled out.
But
no, the flower
baby's
gets us.
breath.
The flower
The
gets
cute little pretty flower gets us.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Back to you two. The left one is running.
All right. I guess, Doc, while she's doing that, left side of the console this time, there's less levers, but there's one on the front. There is... Okay, how to explain this better?
Is it the one with the gold end? There's also one with a blue end.
Any other colors?
I think it was red. I'm guessing I shouldn't touch the red one.
Second one you said was blue, right?
Yes, correct.
Pull that one.
Roll a d6.
5.
Okay. Roll me sense.
My favorite roll. 1.
The right one goes brum 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 brum.
Alright. Make a note of that one in your head as well. So, blue one on the left side of the console.
Got it. Blue one left side. Blue one
Alright.
left side.
Has the left one stopped, but the right one's going now, or
They're
are they
both
both
going.
Okay. I will pull myself back and begin to make my way back up towards where the cockpit is at.
As
Also
you
see Flo's progress.
as you begin to pull away, you can notice like just little bits of you can't make out what, but there's something that seems to be like fluttering out of the left engine.
Does it look like it's just something kicking off of the fans now that they're running?
Could be.
I'll try to peel back a little bit of it to get a better look. To see if it's a bunch of like algae or some kind of seaweed, if it's tangled up more, and if it's going to be an issue or not.
You reach in and pull it back, and your hand is covered in like a greenish, goopy slime thickness of a substance.
Can I brush it off with my other hand?
Gets stuck to your other hand.
Jeez. Push the panel back and try to make my way up to Flo.
Okay.
Hey. Hey, girl, what's up?
As you went to grab this flower, its petals turned into fingers, and it grabbed you by the arm and yanked you inside the ship.
Yep. I yelp, and I'm pulling, I'm resisting. I drop the sheet metal and try to get my hand back.
As you are yanked inside and you drop sort of everything on you, there's a moment of like trying to figure out what is occurring. As you come back to your senses, you're in your flower shop.
Oh no. Oh no. I feel around for my radio.
You have it.
Charlie? Quincy? Anyone?
Nope.
I, am terrified to move. I kind of just turn in a circle to really take in all of my surroundings.
Tell me what it looks like.
It's very light, big windows, and the floors are very like old wood, very worn, and there are shelves with like archways, very, very pink, very pastel, very soft, with like accents of sage green, and there are it looks like the like Babylon, like overflowing greenery everywhere, and it smells really good. It's a little overpowering, but she likes it. And there's like shafts of light coming in from the the big front windows.
That's what you see?
Great. I was just at the Sailor Fold. I am supposed to be underwater right now. I am with Quincy. I am with Charlie. This isn't real. This isn't real. I just squint my eyes shut, and I refuse to let myself look at the flower shop because I don't want to. I know better. I'm trying to know better.
You can feel the sunlight coming through the windows and warming your skin.
Finn? Hello? Anyone?
There are whispered tones that float through the air, but you can't quite tell what voices they are.
This is really, really beautiful, but I know it's not real. I take a few steps forward towards the back room where...
Take a point of brain.
Whoa. Okay.
Take a point of bleed.
Okay. We're cool. It's fine. It's fine that it's not real. I like it. I just want to know why you're doing it. Please. Anyone? I turn towards the exit of the shop. The front exit.
The front door is there.
Okay. Okay. Since it appears I'm alone, I'm gonna go. And I back up a few steps to head closer towards the exit.
There is Your footsteps are heavy.
I keep trying to walk anyways.
Your whole body starts to get heavy.
Okay. I don't get why you're doing this. I'm happy to talk. I don't understand what's happening. I take out my switchblade.
Take a point of brain.
I'm sorry. I think we may have gotten off on the wrong foot, okay? I'll put my thing back. Can I just see who I'm talking to? Can I just look at whoever's doing this, please? I swear I won't do anything. Just let me talk to somebody. Please.
There is a glitter of pollen in the air that sort of trails to the floor.
Hello? You seem to know what my flower shop looks like. I would love to go back to it. I know this isn't it. My friends and I aren't trying to do anything to disturb anything. We're just trying to get home. This is my home. And I get that this is yours. I swear, if this is a problem for you, we'll leave. We just want to get back to our home, please.
Take a point of brain.
Ooh.
Please. We're not trying to do anything wrong.
You start to feel faint.
I need blue tail. I'm losing oxygen. Something's wrong. I feel around for any blue tail, anything.
Your items are on you.
Okay, I grab some blue tail and I crush it up and I toss it in my mouth.
As you toss it towards you and the light fades from the crushed blue tail, there's just enough resonating that you feel like you can see something on your hand.
What is this? I investigate further. What?
Tell me what you do.
I pause before my hand hits my mouth. And I look down at my hand.
The light's gone from the blue tail. You crushed it.
Then I quickly put it in my mouth because that's oxygen.
Okay.
And I keep it in my mouth so that I have oxygen that is preventing me from feeling faint, please.
Please don't make me pass out.
Please. I don't want to die. Please don't let me die.
You begin to feel better. You don't feel like you're drowning, but you don't necessarily feel stable.
Okay. I've upset you. I hear that. I feel that a lot. I totally understand. I'm gonna go and we're not gonna come back. I promise. And I keep backing up.
Roll move.
6.
Wait, is it 2 6?
That is
Yes,
2
it's 2
sixes.
6s.
Oh, you little bastard.
Nice.
Sorry. Double 6, please.
You realize all of a sudden that the heaviness you're feeling kind of feels like there's weights that are put at like certain sections of your arms and your legs that are trying to like drag you down. And they don't feel imaginatory, they feel physical.
Okay.
Like there is literally something dragging you down.
Okay. I take my gold line shears, my garden shears, and I snip below my wrist.
You snip and you just hear like a sound as it
Ugh.
like this big galimy green slime just boosh into your face.
Oh God. Ugh. Okay. We can work with this. Do I feel the weight?
The weight is gone.
Okay, then I keep snipping at my joints and
Everyone you snip pops like a balloon and
So
explodes this mucusy and nasty green all over the place, everywhere that you pop it.
Okay.
And the more that you pop, the more that this vision and the walls of the flower shop begin to disappear with little dust particles, and you are back into the space with the ship.
I pocket my shears and I clamber for the sheet metal and I back out and I swim as quickly as I can, panting and crying.
Okay.
Florence,
Hey!
is swimming that strenuous for you?
Yeah, I guess it is.
What's wrong?
Nothing, I got sheet metal. I got sheet metal for you guys. Is that good? Is that good for you? Is that good? You can see I'm covered in the slime.
Is that slime similar to what I have in my hands?
Similar.
Is that growing or doing anything weird to me?
No.
Okay, so we're both around some weird stuff right now.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. I think we should go back to somewhere else than here. Does this work? Are we good? Can we leave? 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 Can we leave?
Okay. Flo, sit on the left side. Doc, you want to sit on the right?
Okay.
You're gonna be pilot and co-pilot for this, okay?
Yeah.
We're gonna test this out. We got both rotors going right now. There should be a central console. There is a button on the side of the handle and a way to push it back and forth. We're gonna try pushing it forward by 1 click, okay? On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Click.
Do we move forward in any way?
You get a little bit of a lurch, but it feels like you are stuck.
Okay.
We're stuck. Are we stuck?
This is gonna sound funny, but we're now going to pull it back by 3.
By 3.
So we're
Okay.
going to back into whatever we have over there and see if it'll loosen it.
Back out the 1 and then 3, or 3 from where we are?
3 from where we are.
Okay.
So you're technically going 2 in reverse. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Click, click.
You lurch a little backwards, but you're still stuck.
Okay, so we have something bigger that's holding on to it right now. Why don't you two stay here? I'm gonna go investigate.
Take this. I give you my gold shears.
Before I grab them, because I have these things on my hands, do I have pockets on my suits that she could slip this into?
Sure.
I'm gonna reach up like this. In here for right now, I gotta...
Yeah.
We both got some things to take
You're
care
telling me.
Just out of curiosity, is the goo in their suits on them or on the outside of their suits? Like, can I, if I look over and look at them, can I see that they have goo on them?
Yeah. 'Cause it
Oh.
would have. Yeah, you guys are wearing suits. So
Yeah,
It would've,
please
yes,
don't
it would
Okay,
be on top.
okay.
Oh my god. Immediately worse. Immediately terrible. Okay. You have those. Use them liberally.
Quick little ask of you before I go.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take your little switchblade? Don't cut yourself.
Okay.
But could you check?
Mm-hmm.
Showing any signs of bleed?
There's bleed.
It's
Okay.
glowing a lot.
All good. Good to know.
Okay.
And I will swim back and head towards where the hole is. As I'm getting there, is there a possibility to burn it off?
Not when it's on your suit.
Yeah. So it's just kind of stuck. I imagine, is it sticky enough to where, like, if I feel like if I could, like, rub it against, like, the outer part of the ship, it's not going to come off? Like, there's no jagged part of that hole that I could, like, scrape it off on?
Ooh.
You could, but it's definitely slime texture where, like, it's gonna get off parts and parts of it are gonna spring back to your hand.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like bits and pieces are gonna crumble off.
Yeah. So it'd be a slow and meticulous process. I am going to take that time to do a slow and meticulous process to try to take them off. Because in my head right now, if I try to hurry up and see what's at the bottom holding us there, and if something happens, this is going to be a problem. And I'm not ready for that. I don't want that.
I don't want
And I'm
that.
going to let them have their time while I slowly but surely get this off.
Okay.
If possible.
What are you trying to get it off with?
Is the hole that's in the side of the ship, is that either sharp enough or flat enough that I could attempt to, like, scoop under and pan it out?
Where the door was that you entered, or where the fans are?
Where the door is.
Yeah, I'll let you try and scrape it off on the door. I
Okay.
think that's fine. Cool. You guys want to do anything?
I'm standing like completely rigid, like trying. The goo is like half bothering me. It's basically like the residual of like where it came from, and like my brain is echoing inside of my skull, and I'm just kind of like.
So I'm going to obviously notice what she's doing. And Florence, you're not okay right now. What's going on?
So I was in a different ship, and there was a baby's breath, and I grabbed it because Charlie told me to grab it, and then I was in my flower shop. Can you believe that? Can you even?
So you saw yourself go back to the garden in the lighthouse.
No, the flower, like on land where I live, where Finn works, where I was born and raised, where I work, and that's where I am going back to, and that's where I was, you know. And then it wouldn't let me leave, and then I cut it all up with the shears that I gave Charlie, and it exploded on me, and now I'm covered in everything that I care about. So
Okay,
it's good.
Take some deep breaths. And I'm gonna, while she's having her little thing here, gonna do a quick little cursory examination. I'm guessing the goo is obvious.
Mhm.
It's there. It's okay. So I'm going to not touch her, but look at her like. And when did you get this substance on you?
I was being kept there, and I tried to leave, and they didn't let me leave, and there was pollen, and I took the thing, and it wouldn't let me leave, and I took the shears, and I cut the thing that was heavy on my bones, and then it exploded and made me gooey.
Okay.
Does that make sense at all?
I don't think things need to make sense right about now.
Okay, good, because... and I start crying really hard.
Is he out of earshot? And how far out has he gone? Do I need to comms him, or do I call over to
You
him?
could probably call to him.
Charles, we may want to take a trip back to, well, the lighthouse. If you have anything going on, scream. Let us know as soon as you can.
Wait, are we leaving Charlie? We're not leaving Charlie. We're not leaving Charlie. We're not leaving Charlie.
Charlie's just looking at the engines. He's just right outside.
Okay.
Copy that, Doc.
Okay.
All right, slow, deep breaths.
I am.
Can I look at this goo? Does it like look like anything I would have seen at any point in time in any of my studies, be they the bit of magic studies that I did or medical?
Besides the color, and it's slightly thicker, it does resemble like a mucous membrane almost. That's the closest comparison I can give you.
Okay. All right. So, realizing that this is at least part of what's going on, whether or not I know it's to blame, I'm going to keep my distance, but definitely take a good look at it. I'm going to look around to see if it's elsewhere, but... Wait, did I see it on Charlie?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to look around to see if it's elsewhere besides on her and Charlie. Is there any of it just... Oh, on me for that matter too, but I'm going to look around the cockpit. Do I see any of it? And then I'll kind of like do a check around.
There is none on you. You can see a sort of similar greenish color in the lining of this submersible. It doesn't appear to be goo necessarily. It's the same color, but it almost looks more like powder.
Mm.
It is off your hands.
All right. I'll make my way to see near the rear of the submersible what is causing it to be stuck.
There is kind of looks like a giant like boulder that part of the ship is sort of trapped under.
Okay. And we're talking boulder like size of this room kind of boulder
Yes,
things?
very
Okay.
big.
Yeah. Okay. So I ain't moving that. I got good move, but I ain't got that good a move. And the connection of what is underneath this boulder, how much of the ship, of its tail, and the design of this thing, how much of it is caught underneath this boulder?
Not that much. The ship itself, the hull of it is not caught under. It is more the external sort of finished tail area.
Okay. Would I know by the fins of the tail if they're more so just for design's sake, or if it's more so for actual functionality?
The tail would have been for the wheel to do like direction.
Oh, the wheel we removed.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I take a moment to think about that and go,
I pretty much fixed it.
Happy to help, guys.
I'm gonna try to remember looking at the steering column, seeing if there's an easy way to be able to drill something in to at least put in, or at least to put something in to help keep the steering wheel together and to put it back.
You could put the steering wheel back, yes.
Yeah, so there is that. So I think there's just a moment of underneath the water where I'm just like, okay, there's that done. Quincy and Flo, copy?
Yes, we're here.
You hear me crying in the background of his intercom.
Working your magic like always, Doc, huh?
What can we do for you, Charles?
Yeah, I should be more serious about this. I'm going to need you both to coordinate again. I need you to try something for me. We are going to have both of you go on the column, pushing the buttons, and you're going to pull it fully forward to see if you can get enough gas to move. Because you have a tail. The tail of the ship here is stuck underneath a boulder. I don't know if we have enough power and force to get out from under it, but we're going to try, okay?
So you want us to push the levers that we move the clicks as far forward as they go?
Yes. You are currently you were 2 away from neutral, going back, so you are now going to move 5 forward, all the way to the front. You should be at gear 3 at the very top of it.
Okay, when do you want us to do this?
When you're both are ready. I'm going to back up a little bit to give them room so that I also don't get crushed under the boulder. And as soon as I feel like I got a good clearance and looking around at the area, when you're ready, do a countdown and both of you push forward. Okay?
Quick clarification, Charles. Your goal is to have us work loose from this boulder and move, correct?
That is correct. You should jettison forward. If you end up being free from that boulder, give it 2 seconds and then pull it all the way back to neutral. So if you are free after you've pushed it all the way forward, go back 3 knots into the center position.
Okay, 5 forward. If we move, 3 back.
Correct.
Gotcha. Florence, are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's put our hands on the thing. Okay, Charles, I guess give us a countdown of 3 and we'll do it.
3, 2, 1, go.
The submersible begins to lurch forward, and you can see the tail fin, so to speak, is starting to scrape its way out of the boulder with a very loud scraping noise, ever so slowly.
Do we keep this forward, Charles?
Keep it going, keep it going. I want to see if it's tearing the metal from the tail, if it's like going to almost remove it, or if it's just trying to cut into the boulder. It's not making any difference.
How close are you getting?
I would say I would have backed up to try to look at this at probably about 12 feet.
It's hard to tell whether it's taking off the entirety of like just the metal around it, if it's trying to take the tail from the ship. It's definitely scraping metal. You can see parts of it peeling off. It does almost appear like it's going further down into the sand.
Bring it back to neutral.
Neutral. Got it.
Stand by, and I'm going to swim towards that area. I'm going to dig into the sand a little bit to try to uncover some of that tail and inspect to see just how frayed that metal is. To see if there's a possibility of being able to actually separate it.
Take a point of bleed.
Okay.
As you put your hands into the sand to sort of dig around and see what is happening with this, you brush across something that is not a tail. You'd have to dig more to see what it is.
It doesn't look connected to the ship, but okay, so it's a different consistency. I think he puts his hand away for a moment. I'll take out those shears that Flo just gave him in an attempt to sort of scrape that away and continue to pull.
As you take the shears and you scrape them against this new consistency, you can feel almost as if you have cut through bone. It's that style of pressure.
I'm gonna back away 5 feet. Alright, we're gonna move it forward again, okay?
Okay, we're ready in here.
3, 2, 1, forward.
It lurches once again. There is scraping once again. But now there is the very distinctual sound of bones cracking and breaking.
Can I see a source of it? I have to dig further in order to.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to radio over because that's going to burst their ears. I'm going to move forward with the shears and attempt to scrape into more and dig more.
The more you scrape, the more bones you cut through. And as you get to the bottom, you take a point of bleed. And you realize this is exactly what it sounds like. It's exactly what it feels like. You have been chopping off fingers that were holding on to this tail. But the tail is free.
Forward. 3, 2, 1, go! I'll back up.
The ship lurches forward faster than you were anticipating. And you watch it go.
1,
Whoa.
2.
Okay, yeah.
I guess if I have the
And
awareness
then
of it
and then we
moving that
stop.
much.
Yeah, and then we stop.
You see it stop a little bit ahead of you.
With that motion, kind of planting my feet on the boulder, push off of it and begin to swim.
As you push against the boulder, it cracks under your feet as if it was bones. And you fall within it as if it was hollow. And that's where we'll take our break.
Oh!
Thank you all for joining us on this latest episode. Whether you're watching or listening, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to go around the table and let everybody introduce themselves and where you can find them.
I am Tom Marshall, and you can find me at Tom Marshall on Facebook and Tom Marshall VA on Instagram.
Hi, I'm Molly Boozell, and you can find me at MMBK Illustrations on TikTok and Instagram.
Hi, I'm Jason McGloin, and I am Jason McGloin on Facebook.
All right. That is the end of it for today. I hope you will join us for future episodes and for the finale when it comes out. We appreciate you being here. You can find me on the exact place you're watching this, so go ahead and subscribe and do all that bullshit. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye!
Bye.